2 down, 2 to go. Let's see if we can do it. The third mark of the church is Catholic. Isn't it interesting? In 381, they put the word Catholic as an identifying feature of this church. Now we got to make a distinction here. The C, the Catholic, that's put in the Nicene Creed is small c. Not big C Catholic, but small c Catholic. And you know, when some people hear this part of the creed, they get freaked out. I've heard of some non-Catholic churches who have changed this part of the creed. Has anyone ever heard this? They go, we believe in one holy Christian. They deliberately take the word Catholic out and they put the word Christian in because Catholic sounds too much like the Catholic Church. But then I have to ask myself, who gives a person the right to change the creed?
No.
You know, but some people got freaked out. But let's examine, what does the word Catholic mean in context to the creed? Does anyone know what the definition of Catholic is?
Universal.
Universal.
So would Christian mean universal?
So Catholic actually means universal.
It means universal. So they put it in there. The church needs to be universal. Now what is that implying?
United.
Okay. In order to be universal, it has to be united in beliefs, sure. Same everywhere. What was that? Same beliefs. All over.
Vic, what I find just so wonderful, you can go anywhere in the world, and you've got the same readings, and Mass is going on at the same time anyway. You can join yourself in prayer everywhere with our Catholic Church.
You hear what Linda said? Catholic, universal, it's all over. And have any of you ever traveled to another country? You ever gone to a Catholic church?
Mexico.
Okay. We took a cruise down the Rhine River last summer. And we hit lots of different... We first flew into Italy. You know, I have relatives in Italy. And we went to church in Italy. We went to church in Switzerland. We went to church in Germany. We went to church in Amsterdam. Almost every country. It's all the same. This is what we mean, universal church. It's throughout the world. And even though they're saying Mass in German, in Italian, what do they do in Amsterdam? Dutch or something? You know what's happening. It's all over. Universal. And again, this church that began, we're going to celebrate the birthday of the church this weekend. This is where the church officially started, to almost 2,000 years ago. And just think of it. If the church started 2,000 years ago, in 2,000 years, over how much of the earth do you think the church might be located in 2,000 years? Most of it, in 2,000 years, the church has had an opportunity to grow. And look at the Catholic Church. It's throughout the entire world. I don't think there's any other church, well, I have to qualify that, any other denomination that covers to the magnitude of the Catholic Church in that entire world. The Catholic Church, 1.1 billion people. Do you realize approximately 1/6 of the world's population is a Catholic? Worldwide, universal. So, the church needs to be Catholic. Universal, spread throughout the entire world. Now let's just touch bases on the word. You know, they use the small c, Catholic, in the Nicene Creed, meaning to be a universal church. But we call this church the big C, Catholic Church. Right? Anyone have any idea when they started calling this church the Catholic Church? Earlier than that.
35 AD?
Not quite. Earlier than that.
33.
Well, that's the birth of the church. About 110 AD. There's a person, he's a church father called Ignatius. Just a little tidbit of information. He was taught by John the Apostle. And he wrote, I'm going to quote exactly what he wrote. Wherever the bishop appears, let the people be there. Just as wherever Jesus is, there is the Big C Catholic Church. In 110 AD, they were already calling this church the Catholic Church. So Catholics, our church has been called the Catholic Church officially to around 100 AD. How's that for awesome? So Christ did not want his church to be a small, localized, independent entity somewhere on the earth. He wanted his church to be universal. Can I give you a little personal commentary here? As if you're going to stop me. For the life of me, I cannot comprehend how some churches in the United States exist when there are only a few of them. You know, there's certain denominations that are just located maybe in the south of the United States, and that's it. Their denomination consists of maybe 20 churches, and that's it. No one's going to tell Deb this, right? It's between us, right? Well, Deb's dad was a pastor. You know, my wife, Deb, her dad was a pastor. And he was pastor of a church. And it was a really localized church. I think this particular denomination had about 25 churches total in this denomination. And they existed kind of in the southern part of the United States, and one in Grants Pass, and one, I think, in Seattle. So this whole denomination, that's their church. How can that be? In 2,000 years, I would think Christ's church would have grown larger than 25 churches. You're not going to tell her I said this, right? Okay.
You haven't?
But I'm just trying to make a point. In order to be a Christian, you have to believe in the absolute foundation of the faith. What is the absolute foundation of Christianity? The root word of Christianity is Christ. In order to be a Christian, you have to have a common understanding of the basics of our faith. Who Christ is, what He did for us. And also, you know, the nature of who God is, the Trinity. You know, those are the basics of the faith. You've got to believe that in order to be a Christian. And the Catholic Church recognizes our other friends, whether it's Assemblies of God or Baptist or you know, Pentecostals or Lutherans or Methodists or Episcopalians or whatever. We recognize them as valid Christians because they believe in the foundation of the faith. This is why, I'll pick on Todd here again, this is why our Mormon friends are not considered Christians. They do not believe in the Christian concept of who Christ is and the Trinity. So, just a little bit of tidbit of information. If a person who is a non-Catholic, say he's a Christian, if he was baptized in a Christian church that believes in the basics of the faith, if that person wanted to come into the Catholic Church, that person would not be baptized again. The Catholic Church acknowledges a valid baptism because they believe in the Trinity, the Trinitarian way of baptizing.